Hello everyone, my name is Kay and I am Stitchyfifer on YouTube and Instagram. This is the fourth attempt. Can you believe that? 4 attempts at filming a Flosstube video today. The first one, I didn't like it, so I deleted it. The second one, I forgot to switch on the microphone. Third one, I couldn't find it. So this is the fourth one, and fingers crossed I actually can find this one and managed to get it uploaded. It has meant that I've changed slightly what I'm going to do. I was going to do a big parade, but I don't feel confident enough now that I'm going to find it after spending however long recording it. So what I'm proposing is I'll show you my finishes, I'll show you maybe a couple of my whips, but I'm not going to do all of them, show you all of them. I have 12 whips. There were 13, but I decided to UFO it and reuse the fabric for something else. Yeah, this is Charlie. And if I ever have a video and there is no cat in it, you'll know there's something wrong, because that's Charlie. This is Oscar. Charlie. Yeah, I'm getting a photo bombed by the cats. Yeah, as I said, if there's ever a video and there's not a cat in it, you'll know something's wrong. Anyway, I have 3 finished items. I've not fully finished them, but they are stitching is finished on them. The first one I'm going to show you is Long Dog Sampler. It's called Blue Bouquet, and I finished this last year in September, I think. There you go. It's stitched on 18 count Ada with the easy count from Zweigart, and the floss that I used was CXC 1 floss, strand of floss over 1 fabric thread. I like the effect of the single strand on the 18 count, I have to admit. I'm stitching a full coverage with 2 strands and I'm not enjoying it as much, but with the single strand it seems to, the stitching seems to flow better. I don't seem to get stuck. And I can plan my, it's probably psychological, but I can plan my how I'm going to travel. So yeah, that's my first ever completed counted cross stitch. I did a stamped kit, but I can't show it because it's from one of the questionable sites, but I didn't know any better at the time, so that's my excuse. The second one I'm going to show you is another Long Dog Sampler. I just finished this on the 31st of August. I started it on the 21st of June. And if you've been under if you've not seen it before, seen this piece of mine on social media, where have you been? Seriously, why do you not follow me? I've got 260 followers on Instagram, maybe slightly more than that. yeah, it would be nice if I could get a little bit higher. Maybe up to 300 by Christmas would be lovely. And anyway, this is stitched on 18 count antique white Aida using CXC threads. Shade is 3685, which is a beautiful burgundy red. I have my eye on doing Fruits of Plenty from Widow Folk Embroidery at some point over the next however many, the next millennium. And my choice, I think, for floss, I've always said I'd like to do it in burgundy and gold. But how do you think? Do you think that colour of floss with a nice golden yellow? Don't you think that would be lovely? I can't think of any colours off the top of my head at the moment, but I'm sitting looking at my floss storage and I'm seeing lots of contenders to go with this colour. And those of you who do long dogs in a similar vein to how Widow Folk Embroidery chart theirs with the multiple colours. I tip my hat off to you. I would love to attempt one. I have a floss combination in mind, but I'm not very confident about things. I need a lot of hand holding sometimes. But I'll talk about that another time. So this is Love at First Sight. It was released by Jules at Long Dog on the 14th of June. I started on the 21st because it took a week for me to decide on floss colour, and I knew my fabric colour. I knew I was wanting the antique white, and I've decided that all the long dogs are going to be on antique white or ivory, depending on the fabric, and hopefully always going to be on 18 count. And it's stitched with one strand of floss over one fabric thread, full cross. Pardon me. So that's my two long dogs that I've completed. I have two other long dogs on the go. I've got Picadillo Brief Encounter, and I have that is not, I think it's Taboo. I've got one of them. I've got three of them in my stash, and I have started one of them. I've got the other two still to do, and I've also started another small long dog sample called St George's, but I'm going to change the fabric, the floss choice with that, because I'm not that keen on it now that I've actually seen it stitched up. I'm going to change it to black and just do it in black. The third completed project that I've got is the monthly Quaker, January. I completed this in January sometime, I can't remember the exact date. I started it on the 1st of January, it was my New Year, New Start. I was trying to emulate Alba Stitcher from who had successfully completed the challenge of completing each of the monthly Quakers within their month. I failed miserably, and take my hat off to you, Amanda. It was, I got bogged down with February, and I couldn't face it, and so I stopped with two motifs to go on it, plan is now just to stitch them in order, and hopefully get them done by the end of next year. Because once you get started stitching them, they don't take long at all. But again, there is the January one which is completed. I love that those blues on that blue fabric. I do. It's not even blue, it's grey fabric, I think. I just like it. I just really like that. I like the way that navy pops on there. So I'm going to, this will lead me into my whips. This is stitched on 16 count Ada, 2/1 full cross. There's no fancy stitches in these, so if that's something that you were considering, maybe considering starting them, but we thought speciality stitches were in there, and that was maybe stopping you from going ahead to do that. Don't worry about it, there's none. There's straight crosses, like most quicker patterns seem to be, I think. This is a February one. February's under this bit. This is the colour palette. The two pinks are very close in colour, I think. But they are very nice with the green to get together with the green. I do like that combination. I've got, as you can see, I've got the two down here still to do. It's got a small one, and then there's a sort of a half medallion there to complete the rectangular shape of it. And then I start on March, which is various shades of green, and that'll be my next one. And I should get that finished this month if I call it out on my daily stitch, then it'll get completed, because I'll complete it in beyond the hour that I'm going to allocate, just to get that one off my plate and get started in the next one, and then continue with that plan. So that's one of my whips. I have here one that I want to show you. This is super-sized kitchen shelf, max colour. Okay. That's how much I've got done of it. I've done about 4.05%. All of this section here was done in the Q-snap. I changed my stitching method 3/4 of the way through a long dog's not the best time to fix it, to change it, but I had to change it because my stand that I was using, because I used to stitch on Q-snap two-handed on the stand, it succumbed, and I ended up having to try and hold the frames, and I was struggling with this one with the weight of the fabric to hold it and stitch in it. So I decided to come out of the frames and to start stitching in hand. And I in order to figure out how the best way to do that was with doing such a big project, I just researched stitching full coverage projects in hand, and came up with quite a few options. Excuse me a second. Oh, right, you're okay. So yeah, I researched that. I searched on YouTube for tutorials. For goodness sake, excuse me, Charlie, get down. Oh, do anyone want a cat? Seriously, no, I wouldn't part with him. I wouldn't part with him. He is good company. He's just frustrated because I have been doing this all day and I've not been playing with him which he's missed. He likes me to play with him occasionally, and I think he's just starting to get a bit bored with me sitting talking to a computer or to a phone trying to get a video that I can upload. Sorry, I was getting a drink. Yeah, he gets bored and starts getting on my nerves and getting in my way. I was saying that I researched how to stitch full coverage projects in hand, and I came across Stitchy Mummy, a tutorial that she had done. That wasn't really a tutorial. She said it wasn't really a tutorial. It was how she did it, and it was one that made sense to me. So I've adapted it slightly. I hold the fabric the same way she does, to a certain extent. As in how it's rolled. Sausage here. It's rolled under. This is the right side of the fabric, so it's the right side of the stitching. So it's rolled under, as you can see. Here, it's rolled under. That's the back. And I hold it. Depending on which end of the stitching I'm at, if I'm at the left side, it's horizontal. When I get along to this side and I'm trying to stitch in this bit, what I do is I change my angle and I hold it upright. But I've noticed that my stitches look a little bit neater when I hold it like that. When I hold it, it's not like that, it's not like a fist, but when I hold it like that, as you can see, my thumb's on the top, which would guide my needle, and my hand is underneath. Normally, I would hold it. I would hold like that, and stitch in there. But because there's so much fabric, it's not comfortable for me to sit like that for any length of time. So what I've done is I've slightly changed it, and I hold the fabric finger and middle finger and thumb, and I use my pointer finger to sort of push the fabric away from my hand, away from my thumb, so it's creating a bit of tension there. It's not as good as when I hold it normally there, but it's good enough for me. And as I say, when I hold it stitching away like this, it's neater. So I'm going to try and hold it vertically all the way while I'm working on this now. I have noticed that when I don't hold the fabric between my finger and my middle finger and my thumb, that I struggle a little bit with putting the needle back through at the end of the stitch to come up and to start the next one. I find that I sometimes struggle to find a gap in the threads. So it's little things that you find work for you, isn't it? So that's how I'm working for that. I'm trying to follow the typewriter Rose method that she uses because it's logical to me. My biggest fear when I'm working on these full coverages is that I miss stitches. I know I have missed a stitch in my witching hour quite far back, and I'm going to have to go back in and find it and try and insert one single black stitch in a field of black. But because it's being stitched on white fabric, I see it. I can see it when I look at that part of the project. So that's my biggest fear, is that I do that again on this, because if I miss one stitch and then try and find it, I'm never going to find it. I used to stitch diagonally, columns of 10 diagonally parking as I went. And the way I did it was, if the stitch above where I was going to park the thread was a completed stitch, I would complete the stitch, and try to look again for the next available space and park it in there, and the same thing until it got to a hole where there was no completed stitch above it. It was kind of a hybrid parking with a little bit of Gemma Stitch's colour flow mixed in. I think that's possibly where I would have progressed on to sort of doing that type of stitching, because it was logical to me. I have a logical brain. I enjoy doing maths puzzles. I love doing algebra puzzles, and I say algebra puzzles. It's not puzzles. It's equations. So the way of doing the typewriter rows, where you take a block of 10 by 10 stitches, and you start with whichever symbol is in top left square, and you stitch it along that row wherever it appears, and then go back and do the next one, and eventually you build it up, fill it up. That's how I did the first 2 rows of blocks in this, and it sped it up a bit, because I would normally only do it for the length of floss, but because these 2 rows have the same colour, in the same position in the block right the way across, I just colour completed across the row, and I'll probably do the same at the bottom. So that's the Kitchen Shelf Super Size Max Colour version from Amy Stewart and Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm not going to show you any more of these because it does eat up the time, and if I can't find this, I'm recording this on my Chromebook at the moment. If I can't find it on my Chromebook to upload it, I'm going to have to re-record it on my phone. And that would be 5 times I've recorded this video. Hopefully next week will be easier. What the plan is, to put, I've got 12 whips. I'm going to number them all 1 to 12, and what I'm going to do is 1 to 12 on bits of paper into a hat, pull one out every morning, and I'm going to stitch on that for an hour. Now, in order to make myself accountable for my stitching and not just sit and stitch the same project for 3 weeks like I've been doing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it. I'm going to record me pulling the number out. I'm going to record the hour stitching. So you're going to get 6, possibly 7 Stitch With Me videos. I don't know if I'll do one on the day that I do my weekly updates, which will be on Wednesdays, because nobody else seems to do them on a Wednesday, I've noticed. So hopefully for those of you like myself who subscribe to hundreds and hundreds of flosstubers, you will find that you've got something to watch on a Wednesday now. Why do I subscribe to so many, I hear you ask? Well, I'm quite eclectic when it comes to my musical taste and my viewing tastes. When it comes to music, I say that I don't like an artist, I like a song. If I like more than one song by an artist, I may buy the album. But generally I will download one or 2 tracks. Even better if they're on Amazon Music, and I get that for free as part of my Prime membership. So or to a certain level, and then you obviously they want more money from you. So yeah. So my viewing taste is quite eclectic as well when it comes to watching flosstubers. I watch people like pardon me. I watch people like Nicola, Simply a Stitcher. It's great support. I've probably mentioned her a couple of times on this channel already today. As well as another one that I love watching is Teresa Little Stitcher. Some of the funniest videos watching, probably not for Teresa who was living through them, but for us watching, has been when she's been happily stitching and talking along to you, and then suddenly realised she's put a stitch in the wrong place or she's used the wrong colour of floss. Her reaction when that happens, it just, yeah. Because I think, yeah, been there, done that. And she always puts it down to the fact that she's trying to stitch and talk at the same time. So if Teresa, who's been doing this for 9 years, can mess up her stitch with bees, I'm sure I will manage that once or twice as well. Other ones that I watch, because I'm saying I'm quite eclectic, well, Teresa and Nicola stitch full coverage primarily. Another one that I follow is Karen Coombs, or Karen Coombe. I'm not a sampler stitcher. They're not my aesthetic. I wouldn't necessarily hang them up in my house. Long tongue samplers, yes, I would do. I like them, but traditional samplers with the alphabets and the birds and the bushes and the cherry bowls and things like that, and the the quotation or the prayer or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily hang that up in my house, but I like them. And I think the reason I like them is because I can appreciate the amount of work that goes into them. And some of them are absolutely stunning. And she's quite a prolific sampler stitcher, as is I think, who else does samplers? Brendan, the serial starter. Is it Brendan, the serial starter? Yeah, serial starter's Laura, isn't it? That's another channel I like watching. Channel I like watching. They're quite funny, and their stories are quite good. And Sable as well, and Floss Bossing Cousins. And I'm going to stop naming names now because I subscribe to over 100 different channels because I like different people for different things. I like Stitch Lover for her full coverage pieces and how she always seems to have 2 or 3 videos up a week. I like Stitch With Me videos. I do enjoy them, especially if I'm sitting stitching myself, because it feels like you're in someone's company and you with a fellow stitcher and sitting in the room with you and you're stitching away. Doesn't have to be a chatty one. It can be just with music like Stitch Lovers or ASMR. It doesn't, that's why I like Nicola, because she does a bit of all 3. She'll rotate between an AMSR, which she calls her alternative with the music, and the chatty one, which is when she answers all your comments. So I like that. I like that combination of them. The updates, I can take them or leave them, unless if I know that someone is stitching a particular piece and it's a piece that I'm interested in, then I will make a point of watching them. So that is my Flosstube that I enjoy watching, or some of them. I will get better at this, and I will be less tongue-tied, won't I? Or are you going to do it next time, are you? Just watch you don't knock that can of juice over. Okay? Or as my American friends call it, can of pop. Or soda. Soda you call it, isn't it? Soda, not pop. He's wanting to play. You're going to have to wait till I put all my projects away. Then we'll play. Yeah? And then you'll get your dreamies for supper. Dreamies for supper. You're spoiled. You and Oscar are spoiled. Anyway, I'm going to go and try and actually do some stitching today. I've not done any. I think I managed about 20 stitches this morning. At something stupid like 5 o'clock this morning because I couldn't sleep. So I got up and decided to try and stitch. And then I got bored of that. I thought, I'm going to record a Flosstube. And we see where that left me. But I'm going to go now, and hopefully this will appear in my Chromebook files, and I can actually find it and upload it. And yeah. Oh, well, I remember I promised someone else a mention, and that was Abby at Crossing Crafts on Etsy. She kits up all my full coverage projects for me. I like CXC threads. Abby is such a lovely girl. I can get away with saying she's a girl because she is younger than me. Not by, I don't know how much by. Probably not as much as I think. I'm thinking of maybe 20. I think I maybe got 20 years on her, but we'll have that conversation another day, Abby. When and figure out whether I'm your second mum or your sister by another mother. Anyway, she does some amazing full coverage projects, and if you don't follow her on Instagram, please do follow Crossing Crafts and have a look at some of the projects that she works on. They are absolutely stunning, and she will ship worldwide with CXC threads, as well as the Rose to Me threads for the colours 01 to 35. It's quite similar in texture to CXC. It's a similar blend, so you can use the two of them in the same project and not have any issues with it looking one looking shiny and one looking dull. They both look the same. So I would say that check her out on Instagram, check her out on Etsy as well. If it comes to it and you decide to go down the route of using Crossing Crafts to kit up your project, it's so straightforward. Basically, you would message her on Etsy with the stitch count, like how many stitches long and how many stitches height, the count of fabric that you want, and attach a copy of the floss usage chart that you get from Hayden Artisy and whatever, telling you how many skeins, and she works it all out for you, gives you a quote, and you then turn and say, yeah, I'll do that now, or no, in my case it's I can't quite afford it just yet, wait till next month. And I will be starting another project in October, and that is the Autumn Waltz by Caroline Manning. In November, on the 30th of November, I will be doing I will be making start on on the Quaker, the Scottish saltire, Scottish flag Quaker by Webster's on Etsy. That's the first of three projects that will ultimately end up on my wall, being showing my pride at being a Scot. But I will go into that maybe next week, or the week after, or maybe closer to the time. If you're Scottish and you or you have Scottish heritage, or you may just feel, some kinship with us Scots, why not join in? Doesn't have to be the saltire. Could be any Scottish themed pattern. It could be one of the many beautiful designs that I've seen of Highland cows that are full coverage. Malcolm Watson is, I believe, working on a version of Heart of the Union with which is working around the Scottish flag, which is another one that will be added. So there will be four different projects that are all around the theme of Scotland, and they will be going up on my wall together once they're completed. If I get them completed. So that's November. December, I'm looking at 2 new starts. One is the Hygge Holiday Sal, which hand-on design. My brain's getting tired. Did with Nicole Spore and Chantel 141. We can't get the frames over here in the UK, by the way. At least that is what I've been led to believe. She doesn't ship to the UK. I was watching Cosford Dry's stitchery at the weekend, and she had just come back from a recent trip to America, and I think she said she was in at the attic. Is that the one that's in Phoenix? I think it was Phoenix she was in. Is it the attic? I can't remember. Because it's one of those, I should know because it's on my bucket list to go there. To go and see it. She had been there anyway, and I'd got some supplies from like Lady Dot Crates and Chantel and what have you, but coming back from US to the UK, her luggage, I don't know if it was just some of it or all of it, had went missing, and she had got half it back but not the other half, and she was waiting on the other half coming back. She put up a video on Sunday with the remainder of her haul from that trip. I've not actually watched it yet, but I could swear that she had said in the previous video that we cannot get Chantel 141 bits and pieces over here in the UK. I don't know if that's just because there's no stockist, or if it would be more affordable for her to ship over in bulk to a wholesaler, or whether it's just that she's never been approached, or whatever reason. It's just a shame because there's a couple of things that I spotted on her website that I would be quite interested in. One of which is the bow maker, because I think that would come in really handy for finishing. So any of our American friends who would be prepared to have my order shipped to them, and then we could come to an arrangement whereby I pay postage coming over, let me know, and we'll see what we can come up with for it. Or anyone that's heard differently that we can get them, let me know. So that's one of my December starts. The other one is full coverage, and it is the supersized matte colour version of the teddy bear tree by Donna Gelsinger from Heaven and Earth Designs, and that's going to be that there. January 1st, new start. I am looking at one of the abstract city projects from Artisy. I have purchased the London one. I have in my wish list the New York and the Paris one, and those I'm going to get them sometime over the next couple of months. They're not that dear comparison to some charting companies, so they're not that expensive. So I'm planning on getting one a month until I've got my wish list. There's a couple of lighthouse designs which are very similar to Dominic Davidson's and Thomas Kincaid's style, which I like, that I'm wanting to get as well. And then what I may do is looking at judging, once I see the size of them, and what the measurements are, and look at them, I'll decide whether I'm going for 25 count or 18 count fabric. I might do them in 25 and have them all displayed together. There's about 3 or 4 of them that I've picked that I like. I've also got Dogwood Cottage by Abraham Hunter. Thanks, Karen, for getting me into his artwork. By the way, the lovely Karen Needlebug is working on, as many of you will know, is working on God Shed His Grace by the same artist. And there's about 3 or 4 different versions of it, I think you said at one point. So I love his artwork. It's like Thomas Kincaid, more subtle. The lighting side of it is more subtle, and his animal ones are absolutely beautiful. He's got ones with like bear cubs, and I think there's a wolf cub one, and yeah, just absolutely stunning. I wish I had discovered his art, those charts 20-30 years ago, and I tell you, I kid you not, if I had, and I'd been cross stitching back then, and I discovered those charts back then, I think my walls would have been covered. You would not have seen any of them all for the projects. So that is, I've got Dogwood Cottage, the large version. Have I bit enough more than I can chew? Possibly, but go big or go home, as they say. I'm doing an Artisy project at the moment. It's a smaller one. It's only about maybe that width, by about maybe that height, and it's The Flying Scotsman by Kevin Walsh. I started it at the beginning of November last year, as a commemorative piece for my dad, who passed away about 8 years ago. And he was a fireman on the railways. He was shoveling the coal into the firebox to keep the steam going in steam engines. And this Flying Scotsman was one of his favourite engines. I don't know if he actually worked on it. I was under the impression that he did. And then someone who knew him at the time said, no, he wasn't. He was on the freight lines. But I could swear on his own he told me he used to work on the passenger lines as well. So, yeah. but he loved that engine, he loved that steam engine, and it does hold a special place in my heart, but I think it's through its connection to him, and that's why I've chosen to do that piece for him. I'm also in January, I'm going to be busy. I might even be starting yet another full coverage project called Lily of the Valley by Rachel Anderson. I think it's retired now. And this is a super size max colour version. Again, it's all green background. I may be attempting to take out the background and put it on a fancy fancy fabric rather, which would be a bit nerve-wracking, I think. I just don't fancy stitching all that green. Nice as it is, and as much as I love the shades of green that are in the chart, there is a lot of them. I think it's probably going to use every shade of green that is available on the DMC palette. I'm starting that. If I do, I'm saying I'm starting it, I may not be. I may hold off till next year. If I do start it, it will be on the 10th of January, and that is my commemorative piece for my mum, who passed away when I was primary 5, primary 6 at school, so about 10, going on 11. Not quite old enough to start high school, because I started high school when I was 12. Anyway, so that's that, and then February, we'll see what happens in February. I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's my plan sort of coming up tail end of this year, beginning of next. Whether or not that they'll come about, I don't know, because I'm a great one for making plans and then not sticking to them. Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm a planner. I have everything planned out and what I'm going to do and what I'm going to say, and when it comes to it, I never do it. So I'm going to go and upload this. I'm going to pull an easel in and not edit my Flosstube and just pop it up on as it is. Hopefully I'm not saying any bad words. I don't like swearing in front of other people, although I can swear like a trooper. So I am going to upload this now. If I can find it. If I can't find it, I'm going to leave it until tomorrow and re-record again tomorrow on my phone. Failing that, what I'm going to do is I have my phone sitting here ready to record. See, ready to record. And what I'm going to do is, I think, probably record tomorrow on the Chromebook with my phone sitting next to it, so that one of them is going to be there that works and I can upload one of them. Plan as well for my update videos is to hopefully find the printer paper, find the printer toner, get it all in, and print out the cover pages of all my PDFs that are in my whips, so that I can hold them up to you and let you see them, instead of trying to faff about with editing and doing things that I don't really know how to do yet. Nicola, I think you might need to get Andy to give us a masterclass on how to edit. Please. We can do it online. You can do it in Teams. Because I know that there's a couple of us that are. I've seen a couple of people saying that they're not sure about editing as well. So, yeah. We are at now 49 minutes in, and I have decided I have had enough now, so I am going to go and like I said, hopefully get some stitches in. If I don't see you before it, have a great week. If you are a follower of Simply a Stitcher Nicola, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, on her live stream. Let me know what you think of the video, by the way. Please be kind. I'm not very confident at the best of times, so putting myself out here and doing this, even though I'm an old hand at it now, this is my 4th or 5th attempt. I've even lost count of the number of attempts that I've made. I feel like an old hand at it. Let me know what you think, and if there's anything you want me to do, because I'm planning the daily stitch with me's and the weekly updates. I would love to do live stitch with me's like Nicola and Teresa do, but I'm very much nervous that nobody would watch them. Nobody would join them, and I would be left sitting there on a live stream with 0 views. So let me know if you want me to do that, because I can look at, because I don't work, I can sort of plan days that plan and do these sort of things on days there where other flosstubers like Nicola and Teresa aren't doing them. So if you find that you get more stitching done when you're in that environment of a live stream, and you get more stitching done, and you want more of it, let me know, and I will try and arrange a day of the week where we can all go live together. Maybe even do Zoom at some point. I'm quite happy to go down that route if that is something that you would want to do as well. Whatever makes you happy. I'm hoping that the fact that I stitch in hand, doing my stitch with me's, is enough of something a little bit different to attract people to it. And I think these cats are also going to be a big attraction, because a lot of people like it when I post pictures on my Instagram of them. But anyway, I'm going to go now, and if you like what you've seen, please click the subscribe button and that bell icon, so that you know when I've released more updates. When I released more videos. Oh my god, I'm so sorry guys. I am getting really tired now. I think I will be an early night. I don't think I'll be stitching. I think I'm going to go to bed after I've given this guy his supper. There he is. There's Charlie. Here's my little boy. Where's your brother? There's your brother. Oscar is pretending to be the Sphinx. And Charlie has just sat down exactly where I had this. Anyway, so from me, Charlie and Oscar, good night. Sleep well. Happy stitching, and I shall see you either tomorrow or the next day. Bye guys. You're not making this very easy, you know. You are not making this very easy for me to stop the video.